luckily we were really close and spent a lot of time with her. She had a real fun streak. She was quite into modern music. She used to watch Top of the Pops every Thursday. She used to do a lot of knitting. Sometimes we'd just go out for a ride in the car. She used to enjoy that, and probably spent more time with her than a lot of people ever do with their parents, even though I lost her when I was only 18. But she was more than a mum, she was a friend. She died in 1992 at the age of 54. My mum had a bleed in the brain from one of 3 brain tumours she had. Basically, they told me that they found these 3 tumours on my mum's brain and they were going to transfer her to Frenchay Hospital in Bristol. I believe it was in the same conversation that somebody came in and then explained that her blood pressure was dropping. They wouldn't be moving her to Bristol and that she would pass away at some point in the next 12 to 24 hours. I was there with her and holding her hand and told her I was going to be okay and make her proud of me. You could feel her squeezing my hand. No, she could hear me. I just sat with her for a little while, thinking that this was the last opportunity I had to sit with her. And she'd gone. Immediately after my mum passed away, I just felt it was all a little bit too intense. So I went and locked myself in a cubicle in the toilets, just away from people, so I could just gather my thoughts and take in what had just happened a little bit. My dad came in and he was accompanied by my Uncle Robert. My dad had a job that meant that he worked evenings, so he was out 4 or 5 evenings a week. So felt quite distanced from him and we didn't have much in common. And I remember my dad saying, I guess I need to get to know Andrew now. And at that moment I just felt so on my own that my dad was admitting to my uncle that he didn't know me. We just weren't close. And never ever felt quite as lonely as I did that very moment. I managed okay for maybe 6 months. I guess the grief just took over and I ended up having a kind of breakdown. I just couldn't cope with going out, going to work or anything. The doctors put me on medication and I was sleeping from 10 o'clock at night through to 4 o'clock the following afternoon. Dad just switched off completely and tried to be there for him. He tried to be there for me, but he was running on empty. Guess I was too. I had many arguments. I told him at one stage I wished it was him that had died and not my mum. But we got through it and we've now become really close. He enjoys seeing me and the children and my wife Sharon. Every time I speak to him he tells me he loves me and I'll tell him the same, because I do. I think my birthday's the hardest for me because that was her day. No, it's all the big events that are really tricky. I was 26, 27 when I got married, 26. And that really hurt that she wasn't able to be there. The day my daughter Amy was born was a real toughie. Decorating the Christmas tree with her. Sunny days. Going to the seaside and then realising she's not with us. Losing my mum when I was 18 was hard. I'm not going to say it wasn't. it's difficult because it's 28 years now, and whether I'm fully over it or not, even now, I don't know. I don't think you ever get over it. I think you just learn to deal with it and accept it. I can honestly say there's not one day in my life gone past that I haven't thought of her. I could spend another day with my mum. I would do whatever she wanted to do. I'd love her to meet my wife and children. They've heard enough about her, and sometimes I wonder if they can actually picture her as a person rather than just somebody in my memory. And when I'm feeling sad, I can just close my eyes and see my mum. I know she's always there.